You push yourself harder every day, forcing yourself to wake up early and resist temptations. Yet you still fall off track by Thursday. What if discipline isn't about willpower at all, but about something you've been completely ignoring? In this video, I'll share 6 psychology-backed insights from productivity research that will completely change how you think about discipline and make staying consistent feel almost effortless. I discovered this truth after years of believing I just lacked self-control. I'd start strong every Monday, then crash by mid-week, blaming myself for being weak. The problem is, we've been taught that discipline is a muscle you strengthen through sheer force. But neuroscience reveals something shocking. Willpower is a depletable resource, and you're probably draining it before you even start your day. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to redesign your environment and routines so that discipline becomes your default setting, not a daily battle. Let's dive in. Now here's where it gets interesting. Everyone you think is naturally disciplined isn't actually more disciplined than you. What we call discipline is actually just a well-designed environment that makes bad choices hard and good choices easy. Think about it. If your phone is next to your bed, you'll check it first thing in the morning. If your running shoes are by the door, you're more likely to actually go for that run. Research from Duke University found that 45% of our daily actions are habits driven by environmental cues, not conscious decisions. This works because your brain is a lazy efficiency machine. It always takes the path of least resistance. When you remove friction from good behaviors and add friction to bad ones, you're not fighting your nature, you're working with it. Here's how to apply this immediately. First, tonight before bed, place everything you need for your morning routine in plain sight. Workout clothes laid out, water bottle filled, journal open on your desk. Second, hide or eliminate your biggest temptations. Phone in another room, junk food in opaque containers at the back of the pantry, TV remote in a drawer. Third, use the 2-minute rule. Make the first step of any habit take less than 2 minutes. Don't plan to work out for an hour. Just plan to put on gym clothes. For instance, instead of relying on motivation to avoid social media, delete the apps from your phone and only access them through a browser. That extra 30 seconds of friction reduces usage by an average of 60%, according to behavioral studies. But that's not all. Environment is just the foundation. This next one is crucial, and it completely flips conventional wisdom on its head. Most people think discipline means grinding through resistance constantly. But psychological research reveals the opposite. The most disciplined people are the ones who use willpower the least. They've automated their behaviors so thoroughly that discipline doesn't even enter the equation. This works because willpower is controlled by your prefrontal cortex, which operates on glucose and gets fatigued after making decisions. Studies from Stanford show that every decision you make depletes this resource. The person who decides to work out every morning is already at a disadvantage compared to someone who works out automatically at 6 a.m. without thinking. Professor Wendy Wood's habit research found it takes an average of 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. Once that happens, your basal ganglia takes over from your prefrontal cortex, and the action requires virtually zero willpower. Here's your implementation strategy. First, identify your 3 most important daily non-negotiables. These are behaviors that directly impact your goals. Maybe it's 30 minutes of deep work, 20 minutes of exercise, and 10 minutes of reading. Second, anchor these to existing habits using the habit stacking method. After I pour my coffee, I write 3 pages. After I brush my teeth, I do 20 push-ups. After I eat lunch, I read for 15 minutes. Third, protect these habits during the formation period, like they're life or death appointments. Set phone alarms. Tell friends you're unavailable. Remove all obstacles. Fourth, track completion with a simple visual system. Red X for missed days, green check for completed days. This creates a visual streak you won't want to break. The mistake most people make? They try to overhaul their entire life simultaneously. Start with one keystone habit that triggers a cascade of other positive changes, Exercise tends to be the best one because it naturally improves sleep, diet, and focus. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful than habits. Most people don't know this, but the secret to permanent discipline isn't about doing different things. It's about being a different person. James Clear's research in Atomic Habits reveals a fascinating distinction. Outcome-based discipline focuses on what you want to achieve, while identity-based discipline focuses on who you want to become. The difference is massive. This works because your brain has a powerful psychological drive for internal consistency. You automatically act in alignment with your self-image. If you see yourself as someone trying to be healthy, you'll need constant willpower. But if you see yourself as a healthy person, the behaviors flow naturally because they match your identity. Stanford psychologist Dr. Kelly McGonigal found that people who shift their identity first have a 60% higher success rate in maintaining behavior changes compared to those who focus on willpower alone. The psychology is simple. You don't need discipline to be yourself. You just are yourself. Here's how to engineer this identity shift. First, decide who you want to be in one clear sentence. Not I want to lose weight, but I am someone who takes care of my body. Not I should read more, but I am a reader. Not I need to work harder, but I am a focused professional. Second, gather micro-evidence for this identity every single day. Every time you choose the salad, that's a vote for healthy person. Every time you open a book, that's a vote for reader. Your brain tracks these votes and updates your self-image accordingly. Third, use identity-based language in self-talk and with others. When offered junk food, instead of I'm trying to eat healthy, say I don't eat that. Notice the psychological difference. The first requires justification and opens negotiation. The second is a simple fact about who you are. Fourth, surround yourself with people who reflect your desired identity. If you want to be a runner, join running groups. If you want to be entrepreneurial, befriend entrepreneurs. Your identity adapts to match your tribe. For instance, instead of saying I'm going to force myself to write every day, shift to I'm a writer, and writers write daily. Feel how that removes the resistance? That's identity-based discipline in action. This brings me to the next secret, and it's about timing. But wait, there's more to this than just mental strategies. Your body has built-in discipline cycles you've been ignoring. You've heard of circadian rhythms, but most people don't know about ultradian rhythms. These are 90-minute cycles of peak and rest that your body runs on throughout the day. Your energy, focus, and self-control rise and fall in these predictable waves. Research from the Sleep Research Lab at Stanford found that elite performers in every field instinctively work in 90-minute blocks, followed by 15 to 20-minute recovery periods. This works because your brain's prefrontal cortex can only maintain peak executive function for about 90 minutes before it needs recovery. Neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman explains that adenosine builds up in your brain during focused work, creating mental fatigue. Short breaks clear this buildup and restore your willpower reserves. When you ignore these signals and power through, you're not being disciplined, you're being inefficient. Here's your biological discipline protocol. First, identify your peak performance window. For most people, this is 2 to 4 hours after waking, when cortisol and alertness are naturally highest. Schedule your most important discipline-requiring tasks here. Second, structure your day in 90-minute work blocks. Set a timer. During this block, eliminate all distractions and go deep into one priority task. When the timer ends, stop immediately, even if you feel momentum. This prevents burnout and keeps your ultradian rhythm healthy. Third, during your 15 to 20-minute breaks, do true recovery activities. Not scrolling social media, which requires attentional energy. Walk outside, do breathing exercises, stretch, stare at distant objects to rest your eyes, or have a healthy snack. Physical movement is especially powerful because it increases blood flow and clears mental fatigue. Fourth, honor your afternoon dip. Between 2 to 4 p.m., everyone experiences a natural energy crash. Don't schedule high-discipline tasks here. Use this window for meetings, admin work, or learning activities that require less executive function. The common mistake? Treating every hour as equal and wondering why discipline feels harder at certain times. Your biology doesn't care about your to-do lists. Work with your rhythms, and discipline becomes substantially easier. Now you might be thinking, this sounds great, but what about when life gets chaotic? This next strategy is crucial because here's the truth nobody talks about. You will break your discipline. The question isn't if, but when, and what happens next. The difference between people who maintain long-term discipline and those who don't isn't that they never fall off track. It's that they have a pre-planned system for getting back on track immediately, before a single missed day becomes a week, then a month, then complete abandonment. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer's research on implementation intentions found that people who create specific if-then plans are 300% more likely to follow through on goals. This works because you're pre-deciding your response to obstacles, removing the need for in-the-moment willpower when you're already stressed or tired. Your brain loves specificity. I'll get back on track is vague and relies on motivation. If I miss my morning workout, then I'll do a 10-minute workout during lunch is concrete and automatic. You've already made the decision, so your stressed future self doesn't have to. Here's how to build your discipline safety net right now. First, identify your 3 most likely obstacles. Be honest. For most people, it's unexpected schedule changes, low energy days, or social pressure to break good habits. Second, create specific if-then responses for each obstacle. Write these down physically. Examples: if my morning is disrupted, then I'll do my routine at lunch instead of giving up completely. If I'm too tired for a full workout, then I'll commit to just 5 minutes, which usually leads to more. If friends invite me to break my diet, then I'll suggest an alternative location where healthy options exist. Third, implement the never miss twice rule. This is possibly the most important discipline principle ever. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a pattern. Your brain is pattern-seeking. If you miss twice consecutively, your subconscious begins to update its expectations and habits. Fourth, create an emergency minimum viable version of every important habit. Can't do a full workout? Do 10 push-ups. Can't write for an hour? Write 1 sentence. Can't meditate for 20 minutes? Take 3 deep breaths. The behavior matters more than the duration for maintaining the habit pathway in your brain. For instance, instead of an all-or-nothing mentality where missing your 6 a.m. workout means the whole day is ruined, have a pre-decided 15-minute evening workout as backup. This removes the decision fatigue and guilt spiral that usually follows disruption. But that's not all. There's one final truth about discipline that changes everything. Now, let's talk about something even more powerful than any single strategy. The ultimate discipline truth. Real discipline isn't about heroic one-time efforts or dramatic transformations. It's about boring, consistent systems that compound over time. Darren Hardy's research in the compound effect reveals that small, seemingly insignificant actions, repeated daily, create radical differences over months and years. This works because of how mathematics and biology intersect. A 1% improvement daily compounds to being 37 times better after 1 year. Not 365% better. 3,700 better. Your brain's neural pathways strengthen with repetition, making behaviors progressively easier. Your environment adapts. Your identity shifts. Your results accumulate. James Clear calls this atomic habits, tiny changes that seem meaningless in isolation but become transformative through consistency. The problem? Most people quit during the valley of disappointment, the PE, riad where you're doing the work, but not yet seeing dramatic results. Understanding this timeline prevents quitting. You're not failing when you don't see results after 2 weeks. You're exactly where you should be, laying groundwork that will pay exponential dividends later. Here's how to build a discipline system that compounds. First, focus on process goals, not outcome goals. Don't aim to lose 20 pounds. Aim to track calories and walk 10,000 steps daily. You control the process. Outcomes follow inevitably. Second, create feedback loops that make progress visible before results appear. Track your behaviors, not just outcomes. Apps like Habitica, Done, or a simple spreadsheet where you log daily completion. Seeing your streak grow creates motivation and reinforces your identity. Third, design your system to be anti-fragile, meaning it gets stronger from stress and disruption, not weaker. Build in flexibility. Have multiple workout options depending on time and energy. Have several healthy meal frameworks instead of rigid meal plans. Systems that allow adaptation survive. Brittle systems shatter. Fourth, review and optimize your system monthly. What's working? What's creating unnecessary friction? What needs adjustment? Your discipline system should evolve as you evolve. Schedule a monthly 20-minute system audit where you refine your approach. For instance, instead of thinking, I need more discipline to wake up at 5 a.m., think what system makes 5 a.m. wake-ups inevitable. Maybe it's blackout curtains for better sleep, phone charging outside bedroom, sunrise alarm clock, gym buddy waiting for you, pre-packed gym bag, and coffee on automatic timer. That's a system. It doesn't require discipline. It creates it. Common mistake to avoid: building a system so complex that it becomes another thing requiring discipline to maintain. Start simple. 3 core habit. Then expand once those are automatic. Let's quickly review what we covered today, because this is powerful stuff when you actually implement it. Number 1, discipline is environment design, not personality. Redesign your space to make good choices easy. Number 2, less willpower equals more discipline. Automate behaviors into habits that require zero decision-making. Number 3, identity drives discipline. Become the person, don't just do the things. Number 4, work with your ultradian rhythms. Honor your body's natural 90-minute cycles. Number 5, build your discipline safety net. Implementation intentions prevent single failures from becoming permanent patterns. Number 6, discipline is a compounding system. Small, consistent actions create exponential results over time. Remember, discipline isn't about being perfect or having superhuman willpower. It's about understanding how your brain works and designing your life accordingly. Every single person you admire for their discipline is simply someone who's built better systems than you currently have. That's it. There's no secret sauce, no genetic advantage, just strategic environment design, identity alignment, and consistent repetition. You have everything you need right now to become the most disciplined version of yourself. The only difference between the person you are today and the person you want to be in 6 months is the system you build starting right now, today, before you close this video. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Don't wait until life calms down, because it never will. Start with just one thing tonight. Redesign your environment for tomorrow morning. Lay out your clothes. Place your phone in another room. Set up your coffee maker. That's it. One tiny systematic change. I promise you, 30 days from now, when these systems are running automatically, and discipline feels effortless, you'll thank yourself for starting today instead of waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. If you found this helpful and want to stop relying on willpower and start building systems that make discipline inevitable, hit that like button right now. It helps YouTube show this video to others who need it. Subscribe for more psychology-backed self-improvement content that actually works in real life, not just in theory. We post weekly.bar. Drop a comment telling me which of these 6 strategies you're implementing first, or share your biggest discipline challenge. I read every comment and often make videos addressing the most common questions. ND, if you want to learn how to build morning routines that actually stick, or how to overcome procrastination using behavioral science, check out the videos I've linked in the description. They're the perfect companion to what you learned today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.